after 2 really intense sessions today, ending the week in a good note. I had finished my coffee, so I've ordered a new packet today. Let me show you which one I've ordered. I usually order from Blue Toka, and this is the same one that I've been ordering for a while. I'll have to flip the image. This is the Amaltas blend. I really like this. Here's the profile. It's lightly roasted and it's got medium-high acidity and low bitterness. So if you're not familiar with coffee, the lighter the roast of the coffee, the more fruity it is, and usually that's how it works. And if it's also roasted lightly and if it's fruity, then it's also high chances that it's going to be a little more acidic. It depends on your palate and what you like. If it's medium roasted, then it's going to be a bit more chocolatey, fruity and chocolatey, and the acidity is going to be low. So I feel like people usually progress from dark to medium to light, and some people find the balance at medium, but I've progressed to I've developed a taste for light roasted coffee, so that's what I've been sticking to lately, and the flavors are really nice. This is called a gooseneck kettle because of the neck of the kettle. It resembles a goose, so it's called a gooseneck kettle, and it helps pouring easier. So the water comes out in a more streamed line, so it's easier to pour accurately. You don't really need all of this to make good coffee. All the equipment that I have is purely out of interest, and once you go into the whole rabbit hole of making good coffee, then you somehow land up buying all of these. That is why I have it. But if you want to drink good coffee, you don't necessarily need all of these equipment. You do need a good coffee maker, in the sense an AeroPress or a V60 can really help bring out the flavors of the coffee that you're drinking. So this spoon fits about 15 grams of coffee, but the recipe that I use to make my coffee is 12 grams, around 11 to 12 grams, and I pour about 210 ml of water while I make it. Go. This is it. There we have it. So usually in the evenings after my nap, after practice, I go to the gym almost every day, but there are days when I try and do nothing. So like today in the evening, instead of going to the gym, I just want to stay at home and do nothing and just allow my body to soak in all the work and the effort that I have put in the whole week. And I feel like there's a lot of growth in that as well, because I remember when I was not playing during COVID, and there was a time when I had taken a break from badminton. If you don't know, I was not playing for about 2 years, and that was just before COVID started and just after COVID had ended. I was not playing at all, and that was majorly due to burnout from the sport. And during that time, I noticed a lot of growth and clarity while I was doing nothing. So when I was just giving my mind and body the rest that it needs to be able to reflect and soak in all the things that have been happening and had been happening, I noticed that I was getting a lot of clarity in my intention and what I want from training, what I want from the sport, what I want to do, and all of that. I feel like to be able to get the answers, or not even answers, to be able to get some clarity in that the body needs rest. It's very difficult to think about all of that while working really hard, because badminton in itself, or sport in itself, is so intense that a lot of it is muscle memory, and if you don't slow down sometimes and do nothing, it's very easy to get into the trap of muscle memory and doing things just for the sake of doing it. So I feel like when I take time off to do nothing, I get the clarity and the energy to think about these things and set my intentions correctly for future tournaments, for future training sessions, and what I want my training to look like, what I want out of the training sessions or tournaments, and etc. So I get the clarity and space to do that. And I feel like that is equally important for me at least, and I had been reflecting on this for the last few days, so I just wanted to share this with you, and let me know if it's the same with you as well in the comments, and I'll check them out. And the whole concept of not doing anything, especially when you're training for something, might feel like a crime almost, because the whole narrative has become such that if you're not working hard, if you're not working, you're not doing anything, you're not making progress. But that is not the case. So sometimes it almost feels counterproductive, but it is important to keep in mind that the body and the mind especially needs time off to be able to grow as well. And your intention, your thinking, your ability to understand things well is equally important. The body needs downtime and calmness to be able to process all of that, and that is why I feel like doing nothing is helpful at times.